Hello everyone, how's it going? Are you ready for a completely unscheduled test live stream of Metroid Prime Remastered? I know I am. With all the crashing it was doing, I thought I'd look into it. As it turns out, it was a memory issue, because of course. Why would it be a memory issue? If it was just a clock issue, it would just lag. But yeah. I'm thinking that maybe I have a solution to fix it, but I just want to be sure before I devote an entire live stream to it. If I can get through this live stream without it crashing, at least not too frequently, then I'll do it on Thursday. If not, then we'll just go back to the Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction. How's that sound? Sounds dynamite to me. Now, I am using a different program than before. Although I'm actually using the same mouse hook as before. And it actually works just as well here. And it seems to run much better too. But we'll see. Although, it also seems to have loading pains. Look at that. It's currently at 60 frames per second, if you can believe it. But I still probably shouldn't linger any longer than I have to. Let's just kick some pirate ass, huh? Sorry, Vegsy, you may not get your tripped out mode this time, but hey, at least you get this. That's still pretty good, right? Pretty good consolation prize. Look at that trippiness. This place is in entire darkness. It's shut down. You wouldn't know because the game was horrifically glitching before, but yeah, the lights are gone. That's why you're supposed to use this. It's actually a thermal visor. Although it's kind of weird because... maybe not, because it's bluish. I guess that makes sense. I mean, it's cold metal, it would come out as blue. Well, purplish. You can see the spots where there are actually heat coming out of, like Samus's beam. There's heat there. These things, however, scramble it. Amazing how much easier it is for me to fight them when I'm not fighting with myself just to see. There we go. I guess nobody wants to chat is on right now. That's fine. It's more of a test anyway, and it's unscheduled at that, so I can't exactly expect a crowd. Right, okay, the door's over here. I would stay and fight, but let's not do that. Let's get on with our business. Samus isn't really a gun-ho type of gal, you know? She gets on to business. Hey, how's it going, Vegsy? Check it out, it's the thermal visor. It may not be the glitchiness from before, but it still looks pretty trippy. I think this is normal. Oh, I'm in a spot where there's actual light. Go figure. See, normal? Thermal. Trippy, isn't it? Still has some growing pains, but hopefully it's much better now. As you can see, once it actually loads in, this program actually runs it a lot better than that other one did. Doesn't it look a lot smoother? Like you can actually react a lot more easily. At least once it gets going. Like right now it's at 60 frames per second, and it looks smooth. That's how the game is supposed to run. Even if it is basically on bare minimum visually, it looks damn good. And it runs great too. Also, that's cool. Are they boiled peanuts? Because those are good. Salted peanuts are okay too. I just prefer boiled. Boiled is where it's at. Or peanut butter. That's good too. Anywho. See? Seems to be running a lot better than it did before, huh? Oh, mixed bag, that's good. At least I got to a save room. Yeah, we know, Elisera. We know you hate nice things. I should probably close out of window? Yeah. Software updater getting in my way. There we go. As you can see, you gotta make use of this. There we go. You hate most nice things, and even then you complain about them. You find fault with nice things, I guess. Because you even find fault with them. See, so far it's working just fine, I think. I might be able to complete this after all. Sorry, Vegzu, but you might have to wait a little longer on that Hulk smashing time. Yeah, I could play that any time. If I can get this to run well, I want to prioritize it. Just because. I'm a Metroid freak. I'm like the opposite of Elisera. I love Metroid. In your opinion. You want to see soulless garbage looking Forspoken. Now that is kind of soulless. I hate to say it. No offense to anyone who likes Forspoken. Oh wait, I should do this first. I should probably scan the damn thing first. It's the first taste of phazon. It's this blue radioactive substance that controls things and can apparently bring rocks to life. See, that's what's controlling the rock. That blue substance, that radioactive blue substance right there. That's what gave it life. It's Thardus, but, you know, I guess we're ignoring the H. I get the joke you were going for. It's just not a good one. Darn. We're rolling into a ball. You know, if I had a nickel every time I saw a boss roll into a ball on the Nintendo game, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't much, but it's weird that it happened twice. It tries to turn you to ice. Oh boy. Darn it. A little hard to dodge that. Unless you could go more fall. I'm gonna have to pause the game to fix that. Hold on a second. Maybe this is better. Sorry about that. Sometimes, blinding the play. Okay, you are an asshole, Elisera. You realize that's to force you to change your visor, right? You know, so you have to actually use strategy, and you can't just rely on the same thing for the entire fight. I'm sure Elisera would love to be able to rely on the same thing the entire fight, but this fight is more dynamic than that. It requires you to switch things up. If you go with the same thing each time, you're going to be screwed. You have to switch it up. Thanks. Yeah, that was my bad. Sometimes I'll have the microphone adjusted for a certain game, but then it's too low for another game, you know? I try to keep a certain balance, but sometimes I don't adequately test that part with a different game. Or just with my microphone placement in general, because I don't always have it on my desk. I appreciate you informing me about it, though. Come on, Rock Boy. You can tell that's not the end of the fight, though, because look at the health bar. I'm not even halfway done. Yeah, he's wigging out on the phazon right now. That's what's controlling him, a radioactive substance. It's a blue radioactive substance known as phazon. It's actually a main component of the 3 Metroid Prime games. Technically it doesn't have a gender, but whatever. It's like the knight from Hollow Knight. And then it doesn't technically have a gender, but you tend to just default to male. Come on, break. There you go. Ooh, that's a big one. Well, at least it'll be easier to hit, won't it? In fact, it makes things even trickier now. Because if you notice, the whole area is covered in snow. Well, blizzard, mist. So once it overloads your thermal visor, it's even harder to see. Funny how you consider that cheap, Elisera, but you don't consider it cheap to limit your movements. To be extremely stiff. To make it so that you can't change direction when you're jumping. Funny, you can do that in Metroid. So if we want to talk about cheap tactics in a boss, we can talk about cheap tactics within a boss, if you want. There we go. In the past, but I haven't had an account since January 2020. That's cool. The snow's finally gone. Thank God for that. He's getting a little, he's gone a little mad now. Oh wait, he's already mad. Never mind. Carrying on. Yes, I know, Elisera. Since you wanted to bring it up, though. Curse of the Moon is like the exact opposite of Hollow Knight. I'm gonna say it. Because Hollow Knight goes out of its way to give you freedom of movement. Curse of the Moon goes out of its way to restrict your movement. Nothing Metroid has is as cheap as that, in my opinion. Maybe some people like the old school Castlevania mechanics. I am not one of them. I prefer Ritual of the Night. Because it isn't so stiff. I mean, yeah, even Ritual of the Night pales in comparison to Hollow Knight, but at least it's a lot better. Well, it's almost over now. I'm sure Elisera will be happy about that since he hates all things Metroid and would like for all of it to end. Oh boy. There we go. Now it's over. Oh, that's cool. Good to see you again. Yeah, I've got a few thousand subscribers just because this channel is so old. And most of them probably don't even pay attention to my new content anymore. In fact, some people have accused me of sub for subbing or crap like that. Best JoJo opening? Overall, I think I would have to go with Great Days. I love it. Especially the Kira one. End of the World is good too, though. Be quiet, Elisera. Spider Ball acquired. Press and hold ZL when in Morph Ball mode to attach to Spider Ball tracks. New extras unlocked in the main menu. It runs a lot smoother, doesn't it? I mean, you were here, Vegsy, when it was all going to shit. Would you say it's improved? I kind of would. Now I just have to figure out how to get out of here. How dare you, Vegsy? How dare you? You're not supposed to be okay with anything that I'm okay with. Sorry, Vegsy. You'll just have to settle for the thermal visor. It still looks pretty trippy, though. Fine. End of the world! Uh-oh. These things again? Not a big fan of these things. End of... So, Waldo! That's a matter of opinion. I think this looks fine. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it. Maybe there are some areas that look a little bit more stylistic, like they made the graphics slightly more realistic than in the original, but I think it looks really good. Ah, that's fair. Chase is a really good one. I chase yo. Yeah, that's for sure. You know what I'd love to see, Scarlet? I would love to see Metroid Prime 2 given this treatment, just because Quadraxis. Can you imagine if Quadraxis was remastered like this? That'd be amazing. And I got knocked off the ledge. Well, good thing I've got the spider ball. I could go back up there pretty easily if I wanted to. Eh, crash landing much? Well, you suck anyway, Lucera. Nobody cares what you think. Oh, did I say that out loud? Silly me. Anyway. Alright. I'm gonna say it right now, Scarlet. In my opinion, Quadraxis is one of my favorite boss fights of all time. It may not be one of the harder boss fights. In fact, it's pretty easy when you get down to it. Most of the toughness actually comes from it being a marathon boss, but other than that... No, it's the spectacle that makes me love it, though. Because you've got this giant robot with 4 legs, and it is smart enough to try to move away from you, so there is some engagement there. But the whole time, it's just a slow burn because you have no healing stations, and you're constantly being burned by the atmosphere of dark ether. And just the phases, too. It has 2 phases where it's literally just a floating head and it still manages to be threatening. Just because you have to make use of the echo visor. I, too, have heard of the Great Tower of Pisa. Or pizza. Pizza bread. Whatever you want to go with. Happy Zappy! Huh. You got shocked. Bitch. Okay, then. I've never actually played any of the Civ games, though. Did you just say clop? Wow, you're weird, man. Also, I think I know how to destroy this. Let's see if I'm right. I guess I'm wrong. Oh, wait, never mind. Neat. Lol. Ooh, nice. Missile expansion acquired. Fire the missiles! Although it is hilarious that Gandhi has nukes. Just because of a bug that they decided to leave in. Just goes to show what ends up resulting from glitches or hardware limitations. Did you know Samus wouldn't have giant-ass shoulder pads if it wasn't for the fact that the Game Boy original lacks color? Because of the original Metroid, the Varia suit is literally just a recolor of her power suit. But in Metroid 2, it lacked color, so they had to differentiate her suit somehow. So they just gave her giant-ass shoulder pads. And it looks iconic. I mean, look at those things. They're huge. They're freaking huge. Let me take a closer look at them. Oh, wait. I forgot what L is. I probably don't have anything on that, do I? Oh, well. You see them. Anyway, moving on. Before I make an even bigger idiot out of myself. Let's see. Gotta be some spider tracks around here somewhere. I know there are in the previous areas, but maybe I should check here first. Or maybe I should leave immediately. That works too. Wow, you are a pervert, aren't you? Why don't you get your mind out of the gutter, Elisera? Or better yet, drink a juice box, because you are seriously thirsty. Well, the arm cannon is definitely looking like something out of Mega Man. It's actually a Japanese thing with their weapons attached to them. Because the Japanese think that a gun or a weapon in general is a part of you. So if you notice, whenever there's a Japanese person in a robotic suit or something like that, the gun is always attached to their arm. Because of that philosophy in Japan where the weapon is an extension of you. And if you notice something like Doom or Halo, the gun is detached. Because here in good old America, we believe that a weapon is a tool to be used. Hence it's detached. But in Japan, it's a part of yourself. Like a samurai sword, it's a part of who you are. If that makes any sense. It's difference of philosophies, you can tell in some of the designs. Of course, sometimes American-made things will have arm cannons, and some Japanese things will have characters just holding a gun. But that's more like they're inspired off of each other. Ah, this guy's a jerk. Honestly, what a grade A jerk. Also, it is amazing how much better this runs. Because before, it kind of ran like crap. Scan shows stress fractures in bendezium frame. Bendezium basically just means drop a power bomb on it. Unfortunately, though, I do not have power bombs, so I can't. Ah, that's just detailing. Okay. It's probably just a stock sound that both of them used. It's like how I recognize many things as being from Doom. In fact, the iconic Doom door sound, so, is actually a stock sound effect, which means other properties can and will use it. Even if it's associated with Doom. In fact, I think the trope name is Doom door sound just because of the association. I don't think I can go any further because I don't have the grapple hook. Grapple beam, whatever. I thought there was a spider ball track over here, but I guess not. Real shame. Indeed. And I know at least the Duke 3D fire effect, the fire sprite, it came from a CD because there was a developer commentary. Apparently you just bought the CD and then you owned everything on it. You had a license to use everything on it. So they said it was a godsend for pyromaniacs back then. Hey, how dare you? I was at 69. Elisera would have been happy about that because the guy is a massive poonhound. Give me oh, I see. I mean, 98 is pretty good. If he passes, he passes. Certainly can't say he didn't live a long life. Everybody's got to go eventually. Grim Reaper ain't gonna wait forever. No matter how rich or influential you are, death takes all of us. That's the one thing that equalizes all of us. Death. Indeed, Elisera. Anyway. I'm gonna take out these flyboys or die trying. I did say death takes all of us. It might just take me soon. These guys are jerks. In fact, these guys' attitudes, death is going to take them right now. To admit, the game runs really well, I think. I'm glad that I did a test. I mean, yeah, given how it's running right now, it probably would have been fine if I had just did it on Thursday, but I didn't want to risk it. Because I did say to Vegsy, certainly, that I would just do Hulk because it wasn't running right. And then I thought, you know what, maybe I've got it fixed now. Let's do a test. So yeah, I think we might be good now. Sorry, Vegsy. Your Hulk fix will come another time, I promise. Wonder if I can get in there. I might be able to, but I think there might have been something that I'm not supposed to get yet. Or maybe I'm just... Yeah, I get you, Scarlet. It's crazy, isn't it? Even an El Cheapo Android phone that you can get for like 40 bucks and is prepaid has a quad-core processor. That kind of processor you couldn't even dream about at a time, at one point. When Metroid Prime first came out, consoles were single core. And now you've got Android phones that are freaking quad core. And even without taking into account architecture and things like that that make CPUs actually a lot more capable, not to mention core speed, that alone is 4 times. It's damn good. Hey. Quit grabbing me. You're funny, Elisera. I was actually just about to tell... You know, I was actually just about to make the joke that it needs to quit grabbing my ball. But you made the joke first, so well done. Anyway. Let's see what's in here. I think it might be an energy... Oh, okay, it's just a missile tank, I guess. I mean, that's cool, too. Kinda hoping for an energy tank, though. Oh, okay. You found 25% of all items. New extras. I'm actually surprised you're complimenting the game. Because it seems like most of the time you're just determined to hate Metroid all the time. Space travel is a thing. The problem is it isn't... What's the word? Viable. It's not efficient for most people. Okay, that's fair, Elisera. I'll give you credit then. At least you're not just unfairly busting the game's chops for no reason. You're willing to give credit where credit's due. That's respectable. Anyway, space travel... Okay, the word I was thinking of is impractical. It exists, it can happen, but it's extremely impractical. I actually think Tales of the Borderlands shows a good depiction of space travel. Because, you know, in the Borderlands universe, they can space travel all day. But the thing is, getting back to Hyperion to get that last part of Gordus was actually an ordeal. Because even if the technology exists, that doesn't make it practical. Some people, it's very expensive. It takes a lot of fuel to get into space. And while it would be nice to have a sci-fi spacecraft that can just magically override the laws of gravity, it still takes a lot of propulsion to overcome it. It takes a lot of energy. So it's not something that anyone can just have. So unless we actually solve our energy problems and somehow emit a shit ton of energy, it's probably not going to be practical for regular use. It's still a great undertaking, if you know what I mean. Unfortunately, that's how the laws of physics work. Sure it can, Sarah. Well, your member can do what that snake just did. Oh, now I feel bad. You know what? Better not to say what I was thinking just now. Anyway. Oh, that's cool. Anyway. There we go. Even a personal jetpack would probably be impractical for most people. And that just has to literally just carry you. Even just carrying your own body weight into the air is not something that anyone can do. Hey, look at that. I don't want to jinx anything, but if you notice, it's been half an hour, no crashes. I'm gonna stop bringing it up now, but honestly, that's a really good sign, isn't it? That means it's running really well. I'm sure it is. Wait, isn't the opposite usually true? Don't things usually go to shit when you show up because then you get to laugh at it? I mean, that's usually how this goes. You show up, something suddenly shits out, and then you laugh at me for it. Or at least that's how I always remember it. Ah, I see. What is your country? Man, I would imagine a jetpack came from space shuttles in general. Because of the whole propulsion idea. Oh, Romania. That's cool. Let's see. Ooh, I bet there's something over here. You're such a jerk, Sarah. Wow. Okay. What are you, Frollo? I probably shouldn't have gone for the jump there. You know what I find impressive? That even the original Metroid Prime ran at 60 frames per second. If I remember correctly, for the longest time, 30 was more or less the standard that everyone just accepted. I think it's only recently that console players actually demanded 60 frames per second. And that's why the PS5 and the Series X have performance modes if you want something of a higher frame rate. I don't think 60 frames per second was all that common during the GameCube era. Correct me if I'm wrong. Or at least people weren't exactly demanding things be in 60 frames per second, if you know what I mean. You're weird, Sarah. So yeah, Metroid Prime was kind of an anomaly. Not only did it run at 60 frames per second long before it was the norm, before it was expected, but it actually had a lot of environmental detail. It didn't so much rely on shaders like normal mapping, it just relied on raw polygons. And as a result, it holds up even today. Of course, this is the Switch version where they completely replaced the graphics, but even the original doesn't look that bad. Also, I can do this. And now that I've got the spider ball, I can go through all of this. I wonder if this is where I was supposed to go. Either way, I'm getting upgrades, baby. Oh, I love getting missile tanks. 55, baby. Missiles are very strong. You want as many of them as you possibly can. Ah, I can't go across that. I gotta do the boost again. Hey, look, it's Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Chozo Edition. Okay. Okay, Lucera. You want to tell our friend here what your country is? I mean, if we want to talk about which country has stereotypes, that's true, Scarlet. Of course, super missiles are even better. But in this one, super missiles are basically just charged up regular missiles. It utilizes 5 of them instead of using its own ammo pool. Oh yeah, now I remember. I wonder if I can actually do this. I remember this being a giant pain in the ass, but maybe I can do this. Or maybe I don't have enough missiles to do it. I guess we shall see, won't we? I might not have enough. Ah, I think this is actually the first one you can reasonably get. Yeah, those things are going to be a problem. Even if I do have enough missiles, I'm probably not going to have a lot of wiggle room here. Oculus, wall crawler that generates electrical pulses. The electrical field that covers it is enough to deter most predators. If the Oculus detects anything capable of presenting a real threat, it tracks into its impervious shield. Yeah. Okay, I just gotta be careful. The ones that have the eyes on them, I need to make sure they're out of the way first. There we go. Luckily, it was only on 2 of them. It might get even harder, though. I might not even have enough missiles to do this. Wait a minute. What the? These are invincible. Phazon exposure has created a mutant strand. They have developed plated skin, making them harder to bust. Oh, this is bad. Damn. I don't have enough for all of them. Okay. There we go. The Metroid Prime Hunters is alright, I just think it's kind of shallow. I wish there was more to it. Oh shit, I'm out. I'm completely out of missiles now. Maybe there's a way I can get more of them without leaving this room. Abnormally low temperature at ruin site. That's basically the game's way of saying you're taking too long. Get with the program already. Damn it, there's no missiles anywhere. How do I get more missiles? I need me more missiles. Give me my missiles. I'm like 5 short. Come on, man, just give me the good stuff. I just need some good stuff. Nice fish. What the? Anyway. Yeah, not gonna get up there. I get you. I just wish there was a way to get more missiles because I'm out of missiles now. Sucks. It's like, I almost got it. I'm pretty sure that that was the last one before I get to the top. I literally just ran out of missiles, and I didn't waste any either. You notice that I got all of them consistently. Maybe if I induce an explosion out of these plated things, or, okay, there's more of them. Maybe they'll drop missiles. You have to run into it and make it explode. Darn it, it gave me health instead of missiles. Come on, give me some missiles, please. I just want missiles. Give me missiles. Come on, give me the missiles. This health is useless. I'm not even being healed by the amount I'm losing. First 1D Metroid. Oh, you're hilarious, Elisera. I wouldn't talk considering Castlevania is basically a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure knockoff. Oh, big buff man going to face a vampire. That's never been done before. And add in a little Indiana Jones for good measure. Because whip. Ah, dang it. I'm never gonna do this, am I? Yeah, I've heard about that. I've actually heard about that, someone making an N64 Metroid. Apparently the reason why they never put Metroid on the N64 isn't because they didn't think Metroid was good enough to go on the N64. It was more like they didn't know how they would approach bringing Metroid into 3D in the first place. Because if you notice, they ended up going with first person. Which was actually Miyamoto's idea. Despite some people associating Retro Studios with Gung Ho, Texas, it actually wasn't their idea. In fact, I think they were actually against it. I don't think they wanted it to be in first person. Because they were worried about how it might turn out. Ooh, a missile tank. Come on. Thank you. I hope they didn't reset. Because I didn't get more missiles out of that. Simple light sources, cool. I can imagine if there was a Metroid on the N64, though. I mean, all I can do is look at similar things on the system. Like, imagine if Retro Studios had been around and they came up with a first-person concept around the N64 time. Like, you can just imagine with games like GoldenEye 64 and Doom 64 and Perfect Dark how it might have looked. Well, actually, Metroid Prime Hunters, if they had the kind of technology. Obviously, 3D modeling also got better over time. It's not just the hardware that got better. You'll notice that their ability to make 3D models also improved over time. That's why DS games typically look better than N64 games. Even though I think technically the N64, or the DS had a weaker graphics card. Well, graphics chip, I guess. It's not really a dedicated card. It's more like a laptop. Get up. You know what I mean. The DS was actually weaker than the N64, and Super Mario 64 DS actually has less polygons than the N64 version. But the thing is, they were much better at making models. They had the design down. So it looks much more appealing, even though it's actually weaker. Make sense? Damn thing. I'm not sure. I guess that depends on who's asking. I haven't played that many Sony franchises because the only Sony platform that I've ever had is a PSP. So my My information on that is going to be a little bit skewed. I heard good things about the Spider-Man game, though, even though it ended up coming to PC. But then again, you can say the same thing about a lot of games, including God of War. God of War is probably the one thing I'm actually the most surprised got onto PC. Because I always sort of considered God of War to be like Sony's big one. You know, like the closest thing they have to their own Mario, if that makes any sense. Maybe I'm overestimating it a little. Okay, Elisera. This may sound weird, but one game franchise I kind of like is Little Big Planet, just because of the creative functions it gives you. That makes sense? I never understood the Little Big Planet spin-off games that don't give you creative freedom. Like, if you're gonna make a kart racer, you should give it a level editor or something. I think the whole point of Little Big Planet, the whole appeal for it, at least for me, is the level editor. Like I said, I've only ever had a PSP, so I've only ever played that version of it, but Little Big Planet doesn't seem in general like it has the best of platforming. Like, there are better platformers, but what made it stick out is the fact that you can edit on it. It gave you creative freedom. So I think a Little Big Planet without creative freedom is just missing the point. You get me? Just my opinion, though. Anyway, I guess I should probably go where the game wants me to go, which is in this direction. So I guess I gotta go that way. What? Oh, Spooderman on PSP actually works. You mean Spider-Man 2 on the PSP? I think I saw it. That was pretty impressive. Okay. Not the bees! Not the bees, no! Get shocked. Time to boost on out of here. You know, the concept of turning into a ball and going fast, I don't want to make any assumptions, but all I'm saying is Sonic the Hedgehog. Genesis does, can't do this on Nintendo, Genesis does. Ripping off Sonic the Hedgehog like that. Have you no shame? Oh look, it's mushrooms. It's taking from Mario and Sonic. What shame. I hate to tell you this, Elisera, but saying that your balls are fast isn't a compliment. Maybe you're so young. So yeah, when she told you that you were going extremely fast, that wasn't a compliment. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Surges of negative energy far exceed our expectations. Huh. That meteorite must have came straight out of Twitter. Ooh, did I go there? Yes, I did. Got a problem with that? Oh, look at that. A geyser. Darn it. I need to go into it when it's not viewing out. That way I'll be in the right position. There we go. Bingo. Yeah, that's a good point, Scarlet. Everyone takes from something. Even the most creative take from something. The important thing is that you don't just copy something exactly. Like, are you familiar with Hollow Knight? There are a lot of games that are being inspired by Hollow Knight, and most people are saying, hey, back off. No idea is completely original. They can take inspiration if they want to, but then you've got Lotus Knight, which is basically a clone of Hollow Knight. Know how you can tell when something is a shameless knockoff? When the animations look the same. If you're gonna take the concept of another game, at least make the animations look different. Make the art style look different. If it looks the same in terms of art style and animations, then that is just the pinnacle of being a copy. A cheap copy at that. I'm just saying. No matter how many compliments you'll have about Shaft. Oh, that was a burn, Elisera. That was a burn on your part. I hate to tell you this, Elisera, but trippy colors and bloom were not created by Shaft. Oh no! Pretty sure we just committed a cardinal sin there, Vegsy. Anyway. I better go to the save room just because I'm getting paranoid. Nothing's happened yet, everything's going smoothly, but you never know. Because I said something, watch it screw up. It would be a real shame if all that progress were to go to waste. Quit buzzing around me, you damn bees. Yes, I know they're not technically bees. It's called an insult. Anyway. You can tell this game based its level design around the concept of having to load in new areas, because it'll have shafts randomly there. It's basically just there so that it can load in the next area. Because if you notice, these ruins are really big, and it has to load in a lot. So to try to slow you down so you don't have to wait as long waiting for the next area to load, it just makes you go through these corridors. That way it's loading while you're walking through them. In fact, if you somehow speed yourself up like the boost ball or something, you'll have to wait longer for the doors to open up. It's a clever trick. In fact, I think Tony Hawk's American Wasteland did a similar thing. Because technically all the locations in the game can be gotten to without a loading screen. At the time, that was considered special. Even if Grand Theft Auto 3 was technically there first, but you know. So basically they just had things like an underground mall or something with a grind rail. That way, as you were being forced to go along it, it would load in the next area. That way, it technically wouldn't have any loading screens. Fun fact. Anyway, I should have enough missiles now. I got 65. If that isn't enough, then screw it. I just have to be careful about where I aim. Don't want to accidentally hit those creatures because they're invincible. They're there to make you waste ammo. Then again, maybe if I shot those puffers and avoided getting hit by them, maybe then I would be able to get missiles out of them. Possible. But I don't want to risk it. Unless I'm pretty sure I'm not going to make it. I better go for the ones with the eyeballs on it first for peace of mind. See, that's good timing right there. You just need to have some idea of how long it'll take the missile to reach that area. Right as they're getting out of the way, that's when you shoot. Okay, this place is filling with deadly balls of gas. If you shoot while it's heading towards that spot, then frankly, you're just asking for your missile to be wasted. Gotta have timing down. What do you mean? Like, do I think games on the Switch could run on the GameCube or Wii? If you, like, modified them or something? I'm not sure what you mean by that. There we go. Obviously, Switch games as they are right now wouldn't work because they're too graphically intricate for the GameCube to handle. Ooh, I got it. Thank you. I got it. All I needed was a couple of missile tanks, and I only really needed one of them. I was literally only one away. Wavebuster acquired. It uses missiles. Oh, isn't that ironic? But hey, I got it. This is probably the earliest missile combo that you can get in the game. And I got it. Now let's see if I would have been right. Oh. They were destroyed. I guess completing the puzzle just destroys them automatically. Because they're supposed to be part of the puzzle, you see. But at least I got it. But I think maybe most Switch games could get on the Wii if you dumbed them down enough. I don't think Breath of the Wild would be one of them, though, obviously. That game is way too complex to work on the Wii. At least not without essentially rewriting the entire game. Now, could you make a version of Breath of the Wild from the ground up for the Wii? Maybe. Could you retrofit the current one on Wii? Not a chance in hell. I seriously doubt that. Just because the physics complications. The thing about porting down is, graphically it's a lot easier. You just pull out things, you reduce the graphical quality, you can do that. You notice that pretty much all PC games that have options, they have graphics options, but they don't have central processor options. Because things like physics and behaviors, you can't really dumb that down without seriously affecting the gameplay. So you have to have a certain level of CPU. But the GPU it's flexible to some extent. You would basically have to write a new version of Breath of the Wild specifically for the Wii for that to be pulled off. But most other games aren't going to be as complex as Breath of the Wild, so they could probably work on the Wii. Theoretically. Maybe not in their current forms either, but at least you would be able to get something that's mostly the same. Actually, if you wanted to get Breath of the Wild on the Wii, the easiest way might be to take either Skyward Sword or Twilight Princess and use its engine as the basis. You know, just shove in downgraded Breath of the Wild assets onto it. That would probably be the simplest way, wouldn't it? Because you basically got the framework of a Zelda game already. It's kind of like, are you familiar with Dead Rising? Because the funny thing is, the Wii version of Dead Rising actually uses the Resident Evil 4 engine. You can actually tell. Because if you look at like video footage of the Wii version of Dead Rising, not only does it have that aggressive draw distance thing where zombies fade in and out like a few feet from you, but the animations are pretty much exactly like they are in Resident Evil 4. The zombies have animations that are basically exactly like the villagers on Resident Evil 4. Yeah. If you're making an entirely new game for a weaker system, the easiest way might be to just have an existing game that's already on the system and then just modify that to be more like the game you want to put on it. At least that's theoretically how you would do it. Like, for example, if you wanted to put Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3 on the DS, you would take Metroid Prime Hunter as the basis and then just turn that into the Prime games. You theoretically could. It would be butchered to hell and back, but you could. You would get something that vaguely resembles them. So yeah. As long as there's an equivalent of it on the Wii already, you probably could. For instance, Super Mario Odyssey, you could probably take a modified either Sunshine or Galaxy. Maybe Sunshine. The fact that it was a GameCube game would probably be easier with Odyssey's larger environments. The Wii could probably handle that with bigger environments. So yeah. Sorry, I may have gotten a little bit carried away in my explanation there. Watery Hall. Neat. Right, I gotta go this way. All the way to the furnace, ironically. I gotta go to the furnace to get something cold. How ironic is that? So, it has officially been 1 hour. I dare say the game is running well, don't you? Well, at least, Marcus Person. What? Were you trying to get me to say something? Is that the actual name of someone, or were you just trying to get me to say something inappropriate? Because I'm not familiar with that name. Ah. Anyway. Well, this is one nice thing. I noticed that there is a gameplay difference. Because the gas on those mushrooms used to linger a lot more on the original. It was kind of annoying. I get why they did it like that, but having it linger as long as it did wasn't necessary. It just made you waste your time. Here the gas seems to disperse a lot faster. Oh, I see. To be fair, most people know him by Notch. He's become so synonymous with his nickname that his real name isn't talked about that much. It's not like someone like Shigeru Miyamoto or something, or Gabe Newell. He's known by a nickname. Ah, thanks, Scarlet. I try to be as detailed as I can without going too overboard. Hopefully I'm not going overboard. Wouldn't want to bore someone. Ah, this is nice. Oh, good. There we go. It's fun going back into previous areas that you couldn't get into because of a lack of equipment. That's the appeal of Metroidvania, isn't it? Is this where I was supposed to go? I thought it was the furnace that I was supposed to go into. Oh well. I mean, I'm not gonna complain. What do we have here? Sufficient blast trauma will likely result in complete destruction. I know what you're talking about. Are you saying that I need a super weapon to get in there? Yes, it is. Super missile acquired. My missile count is officially over 69. Nice. Ow. Hey. Look, I love the lighting you provide, but, could you not? Oh. This wasn't where I was supposed to go. It's just a source of 2 more missile tanks. Nice. Hey, I'll take it. The more missile tanks, the better. Especially when it comes to these missile combos. That just means I can use the Wavebuster that much more if I choose to use it. Oh boy. I love these sweeping lasers. You know what? I don't even really need to use the charge beam. I could just make them close their eye for a minute. You know, the funny thing is, the water is simultaneously probably one of the prettier aspects of Metroid Prime Remastered, but at the same time, it's probably one of those things that most shows off the limitations of the Switch. Because it doesn't have real reflections. It doesn't even really reflect the environment. It's more like a cube map. It looks nice, though. And one thing I love is that they re-implemented the volumetric physics interaction. That was in the original GameCube version, but maybe because of the morph ball jumping or something, I don't know. They removed it from the Wii version, from the Prime Trilogy, which kind of sucks. But at least it's back. Nice. It's nice just shooting the water and seeing it ripple like that. And it works with the morph ball, too. That works, too. How cool is that? I know, it's one of those little things. In fact, I'm pretty sure the original BioShock had something like that. But it's the little things. It doesn't have to be impressive on a technical level for it to be impressive on an artistic level. That just proves that you can have games look really good even on weak hardware. In fact, I don't know if you know this, Scarlet, but with the Violet and Scarlet Pokemon games, there were some fanatics of Pokemon that actually said that it ran the way it did because of the Switch. Which I say, bullcrap. There are open world games on the PS2 that run better than Scarlet and Violet on the Switch. The problem is, Game Freak is kind of rushing out their games. They're kind of half-assing them. Especially as of late, especially with the Switch era. With the 3DS, there wasn't as much to it, so they could get away with it. They could get away with pumping it out. But with the Switch especially, there's enough detail that them cutting corners is actually noticeable. But I don't think the Pokemon games are a result of the Switch's hardware. Oh yeah, I love that one. Like, there were these even older pinball games on PC, like the 3D Ultra pinball games that I remember playing. And Metroid Prime Pinball reminded me of that. In fact, I find it weird. I wish there were more pinball games like that nowadays. Because if you notice, there aren't really any pinball games that actually feel like video games. There are pinball games, but they're basically tabletop simulators. They don't really do anything that a table couldn't. You know what I mean? It's like they're just simulating reality instead of really taking advantage of being a game. Older pinball games, if you notice, like Sonic Spinball to some degree, although it wasn't that great. And then you've got Metroid Prime Pinball, and then you've got Pokemon Pinball. They actually feel like video games on a pinball table. You legitimately couldn't do that on a table. At least not easily. Maybe you could simulate it or something, but it would be difficult. It doesn't just use table props. So yeah, in my opinion, pinball games actually got a lot less creative overall. I like it better when they feel like video games that just happen to be pinball games. You should take advantage of the video game format. Even if the Mario one was kind of weird. If you notice, Pokemon and Metroid, they both work well for pinball. Because they both have balls that you can use for it. Samus turns into a ball, and then for Pokemon, you've got Pokeballs that even catch Pokemon with. Those are creative uses of it. With Mario, though, they pretty much just had to curl him into a ball, which is a little awkward. But I guess they couldn't think of anything else to do with that. What is this otherworldly pestilence that infects the land, seeking out life in its blind need for corruption? And where did the meteorite that brought it originate? Is it crafted by alien hands, or is it a roving chunk of a planet that suffered a violent end? Yeah. Like I said, though, you got a dime a dozen ones that are basically just table pinball simulators. They don't really take advantage of the fact that they're video games. I want to see more pinball games that are video games first and pinball tables second, if that makes any sense. You have the medium of a video game. Why not use it? Why do you want to do things that pinball tables can already do in real life? I mean, I guess there is some appeal in that, but why not take advantage of the fact that it's a video game? You could put in elements that pinball tables can never include. At least not in a practical way. You could have the pinball table straight up be invaded. Like how the Metroid Prime pinball even has bosses. That's really cool. Although it's kind of ironic. It's kind of ironic how in the Metroid Prime pinball game, it's the first phase of Metroid Prime that you need a specific thing to damage it, and the final form that it's just anything goes. Because in the actual Metroid Prime, it's the opposite. Where you can damage it on your own with your own stuff, but the final form requires the Hyper Beam. It's more specific. Also, what the hell is this? I'm guessing you have to go somewhere else for that. Previously used, it has shut itself down. Awesome. I'm guessing I gotta use the tried and true super missile. Neat. What's that? Something behind the wall seems to have activated. Nice. Oh, cool. Look at that. Right, and I guess I should probably also use this. Ballin'. Ballin', baby. Been a while since I played Metroid Prime. Though I did play it on this channel. As part of the trilogy. Although, funny enough, I didn't take advantage of Prime Hack, really. At first, it was just on native Wii hardware. And then, when I was in the Chozo, the Pirate Mines, I bet it's called the Pirate Mines, I think. Yeah, that's when I switched to Dolphin. And then when I went to Prime 2, that's when I started using Prime Hack. Really good. It basically turns it into a native mouse and keyboard game. It just controls so well. Nothing like that really for this, obviously, but this controls well enough on its own. Oh. I should probably go this way, huh? Oh, that's lovely. The Wave Beam may have its advantages, but one very big disadvantage is that it runs a lot slower. You can tell in Metroid Prime, for the most part, the beams are more balanced. And the reason why I say the most part is because the plasma beam just straight up burns through everything. Oh, this is where the Chozo ghosts make their first appearance. Chozo Ghost, spectral entity. That's something cool about Metroid. It may be mostly a sci-fi, but it's not afraid to have things like spirits in it either. I like that. I know a certain someone who may or may not still be in this chat is going to call me blasphemous for saying this, but I like the Star Wars kind of sci-fi where it still has some spiritual elements in it. It doesn't have to be entirely BS'd by science. Well, in my opinion, Twitch is kind of bad. I mean, YouTube isn't great either, don't get me wrong, but it seems like Twitch is just way worse in many aspects. Just my opinion, though. I'm obviously not gonna knock on people who stream on Twitch. It's up to them, but in my experience, I think YouTube is actually better. Even in terms of viewing audiences, because I tried Twitch. I tried streaming it on both YouTube and Twitch. Pretty much nobody was interested on Twitch. I guess I just didn't meet the right target demographic. Oh well. YouTube works just fine for me. Unless they do something incredibly stupid. Which you never know, they might. Very cool. Oh, I see. I think I gotta switch it out. Or maybe not. Maybe I just need to jump. That's weird. I was clearly on solid ground, and yet it double jumped. Oh, well. Bingo. Nicely done. The mechanism has been changed. A new path has been opened. You notice that's basically like the Chozo statues on the 2D Metroid games. And the funny thing is on Metroid Zero, if you do that, if you curl up into a morph ball in its hands, you get energy back. Like it's a save room. I see. That is kind of stupid. I mean, technically you can be a member on YouTube, but that's optional. You can subscribe for free. I mean, if they're being notified by your videos and they want to watch your content, why force them to pay extra? That only makes sense if you want to give them extra, like a membership or something. Don't make it necessary just for them to see your content. Well, you know, be alerted to their content. That would normally be for them anyway. Drainage shutoff is holding, maintaining the water level of the reflecting pool at 95%. Okay, then. Stone Toad. Fractures detected in telluric alloy drain cover. The cover still functions, but its integrity is unstable. Yeah, no shit. I love how it says that, and then it's literally right next door. Well, I think you can tell that I'm getting to it. Thank you. Anyway. Actually, I should try this first. That's what I thought. I was gonna waste a super missile. No need. That's some good water drainage. Anyway. Friggin' stone toads. Although I can just destroy them, so they're not that big of a deal. Okay, jackass. There you go. Yeah. YouTube Premium is definitely optional. I was thinking more like memberships, though. YouTube Premium is more of an all-encompassing thing. Not really specific to a channel. Although if you have YouTube Premium and you watch a video, then they get credited for ad revenue, interestingly enough. Oh, jeez. Alright, Jade. They thought they'd hunt me down. You think you can hunt down Samus? Samus is the hunter. Try to eat Samus, you're in for a real stomachache. There we go. Wonder what's in here. Ooh, a save room. Nice. I haven't saved in 5 whole seconds. And that's just lovely. Shit. Guess I gotta play more Tony Hawk. Rock, 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 rock and roll high school. Trying to eat me, huh? Oh, I didn't know. Abnormally small, low temperatures. I wonder why that is. Those Metroids better watch out. Ice beam acquired. Use X and down to switch to the ice beam. This weapon can open white ice doors. Cool. Time for some ice. Why haven't you gone for YouTube Premium, though? Oh, what do you mean by that? Like, why haven't I bought YouTube Premium? Or is there something that ties to YouTube Premium that you're referring to? I haven't heard about anything YouTube Premium specifically for content creators. Maybe locked content behind it, but I'm not sure I want to do that. What do you mean, then? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Then again, I haven't really looked into it. Maybe I should start looking into things. Oh, look. Talon Overworld East. Ooh, I think I'm going towards the pirate mines. Actually, no. It's more like the Frigate remains or something, maybe. I'm curious as to what you mean, though. Actually, I think I need the gravity suit. Ah, this is lovely.
Recorded to logbook.
Gamer. Right. You can go straight to hell. Damn spike face. Heh. Those ones still aren't so tough, are they? I love the music, and I love the graphics, too. Oh, cool. Oh boy, that was painful. Mildly. You notice it even has that adaptable thing. I still don't know what it's called. Where you adapt to the light, it simulates that. Take this. How much would you charge if someone asked you to tightly hug the porcupine? I don't know. Wouldn't that be potentially fatal? Especially if you're doing it on your torso. You puncture an organ. That could kill you. I'm not sure I'd want to do that for any price, if I'm being honest. Anyway. Yes, I'm aware that this door cannot be opened with this weapon. Thank you. Ah, there we go. Okay. Let's head deeper within this place. Now here's a pretty environment. No doubt going to be made even prettier on the Switch. I love the music. Man, this is slow though. Yeah, does this look familiar? Oh, we're under YouTube's video. There's a button that support that channel because that YouTuber wanted it. I haven't heard about that specifically. All I know is that if you have YouTube Premium, then technically it counts as ad revenue. Like, if there's someone's video that has ads on them and you use YouTube Premium and you watch that video, then they're credited as if you watched an ad. Because it's basically, you're paying a monthly subscription to bypass ads. That way the creators still get money for it. That's the only thing I'm familiar with. This door has no power. You have no power here? Ah, here we go. What the? Okay, that's one of those fruits, I see. Now I remember. I have to look around. This is for the power routing hunts. Wonder if there's any earlier on. There might be. Ah, those are just fish. Probably shouldn't be shooting at them. Although, who knows, they might make good eating. That's peculiar. I see. Ah, okay. I think it should do it on its own anyway, because I do have ad revenue on my videos enabled. So if someone does have YouTube Premium, it should work all the same. I think there is a separate thing where it tells me how much that I get specifically from YouTube Premium. And I think I do get something from that. I'm just not sure about specifically having it on to request it. Oh, I only needed one of them. For some reason I was looking for more of them, and I didn't even realize the door was already powered. My bad. Also, does this look familiar? This is basically the pirate frigate at the beginning of the game. Or station. Except, obviously, the whole place fell apart. So this is the ruins of it. Huh. You're silly, Vegsy. You're real silly. Ah, the slowness. That always happens before you get the gravity suit. Ah, the music's really gonna kick in now. I'm just gonna shut up and let the music play. Enjoy the beautiful music and the beautiful underwater sights. And there I go. Tentacles. Tangleweed. Plant life with basic sentience. Right. Oh, that's a different thing. Aqua Reaper. Part of a submerged organism. Cool. Oh, geez. Okay. There we go. Gel Zap. Now let's see. Need to find those power conduits, because there's going to be at least a few of them in here. I think there's actually one higher up, but, well, I got knocked off of it by that jackass over there. So, you know. So, Vegzy, would you say this test has been successful? It's actually funny. Just a difference in programming, what a difference in the program you use, what a difference that makes. Ah, shit. They keep making me fall, and I hate that. Rude. Very rude of them. This test may be successful, but my abilities sure as hell aren't. Oh boy. Come on. Do this thing. Damn it. I keep getting knocked off for some reason. It's not like I was being pushed away from that creature. It's like something was either pulling me towards it or away from something else. You're funny. Huh. Only a shame Thomas isn't here. You and him could have a pun-off. And the loser faces deep punishment. Anyway, gotta find these power conduits. Ah, there's one. Object out of scanning range. Isn't that lovely? Damn thing. Luckily having the double jump helps, but... man. Almost feels like I'm on Curse of the Moon because my movement is so stiff. Come on, you bastard. Open up. FBI, open up. Sucker. Ah, damn it. Why do they keep knocking me off the platforms? When I'm underwater, I go so much slower. It takes forever to get back up. Now I understand that commercial. Help! I've fallen and I can't get up. Someone give me a life alert. Because Samus has fallen and she's having trouble getting back up. At least I killed them. Anyway. Time to move on. From all this craziness. I will ascend to the heavens. And drill through them or something. That's apparently how a drill works. Something Gurren Lagann quotes. There used to be a first-person Super Mario you could play on your browser. I know there's an animation of it, which looks really cool. Have you ever seen the first-person animation of it? I think it was done by someone with Rocket Jump in the name. That guy does a lot of really impressive animations. I do remember that. Not one that you could play, though. This one, though, basically had the original NES Mario superimposed next to it. It was literally just remaking the graphics. Obviously, it was pre-rendered, though. I don't think it was something that you could play. Anyway, yeah, I think the conduit is up here. Okay. Gotta carefully jump up these platforms. Right, that makes sense. Yeah, unfortunately, Nintendo is extremely protective of their properties. And apparently the reason why isn't just because they love being a killjoy, the reason is because they're paranoid. Apparently, when they first came out with Donkey Kong, a movie company tried to sue them for it, and they ended up losing the rights to King Kong because of it, because they were being lackadaisical, they were being careless with their IP. Because the copyright laws in America are basically use it or lose it. If you don't immediately go after someone for using it in an illegitimate way, you lose all rights to it. So Nintendo gets very paranoid about their properties, because if some company tries to pull a fast one on them and they use their IP in an illegitimate way of any kind, and Nintendo doesn't stop them, they basically lose part of that copyright protection. And you know, a lot of other companies would really love to gun for Nintendo's IPs. You know, someone like Microsoft or even EA would love to have the chance to steal Mario for themselves and be able to use it without permission. Because they would run with it. So yeah, Nintendo's a little paranoid about that because of it. Sadly, that means the regular users also suffer. And this one guy on YouTube speculates that it'll go away over time. Like, once everyone who's super paranoid about the IP leaves Nintendo, that hopefully that won't be so much of a tight grip. They won't have so much of a tight grip on their IP anymore. In my opinion, they should be like Valve. They should say, you can use our IP, but you can't make any money off of it. That would stop any of the bigger companies from using it. Because when there was basically a Portal knockoff on iOS, I think it was called Wormhole, Valve could have said, take this down. Instead, they told the developer, hey, you can keep it on, but you can't charge money for it. You gotta make it free. Obviously, if you make something on YouTube and you get ad revenue off of that, that's different. It's not charging the end user, it's just getting ad revenue. The ad companies are the ones that are paying it. That's fine. Like Source Filmmaker animations, I can make Team Fortress 2 animations all day long and monetize that with ads. Just as long as I'm not charging people for the privilege. I couldn't make a movie with Team Fortress 2 assets and then sell it as my own Team Fortress 2 movie. Valve's lawyers would be on my ass in a second. Well, yeah, maybe. I think maybe another company might have done that, though. I do know that with Donkey Kong, they had to release it on other systems, but they intentionally gimped it on the other systems. They purposefully made those systems as versions inferior. Like, they had a really intentionally crappy version on the Commodore... No, wait. I think it may have been the Atari systems, or the Commodore. Either way, they had Donkey Kong and other systems, but they gimped it on purpose. That way, it wouldn't be a threat to them. It would basically be their stuff is the best. Which was kind of dirty. Like, why even give it to them at all if you're just going to give them a purposefully inferior version? Kind of defeats the purpose. Doors no power. Keep that as invisible to the normal spectrum. Yeah, got it. And I can't find it. I thought it was higher up, but I don't see anything. Maybe it was at the very top. Gotta be somewhere. Obviously, living things give off heat too, so that makes things even more complicated. I know there was a Super Mario game on MS-DOS, but smooth scrolling... Oh, hey, Neo. Incoming scan data. Unusual gravity patterns analyzed. Gravity pulse within Pandrana... Oh, okay. I wasn't even supposed to be here. I was supposed to go back to Pandrena. Anyway, you know, where the whole screen smoothly scrolls like in the original Super Mario Bros. We take it for granted nowadays. Ah, okay. You know, like, how when you get to the edge of the screen, the camera scrolls it through. We take that for granted, but early computers at the time couldn't really do that efficiently. So the original Super Mario Bros. On MS-DOS, that port, basically had static screens, and once you got to the end of it, it would just load into a new area completely. It wouldn't scroll with you. In fact, it was a big deal when John Carmack came up with a way to do it. He basically made it only scroll specific assets, like it would have a black background, it wouldn't have to do that. Or it would just be a solid color, it wouldn't have to transfer any of that data, it would only transfer some data, like foreground objects. He kept the decor minimized, in other words. He actually used it to make his own port of Super Mario Bros. 3 for the PC. I'm actually getting to that, Scarlet. Because he made his own version of Super Mario Bros. 3 that smoothly scrolled. I'm pretty sure it was just as good as it was on the NES, but on DOS, Nintendo shut him down. They didn't want to put it on a competing system. So what he did was he took that engine and he made Commander Keen out of it. And the rest is history. Cool stuff, I think. It's only a shame that Commander Keen was abandoned after Wolfenstein 3D. I mean, yeah, I get it, 3D was in, but it'd be cool if they went back to Commander Keen in a meaningful way. And by in a meaningful way, I mean not some shitty phone game that nobody asked for. You notice that got quietly canceled. I'm sorry to say it, I'm sorry if I'm sounding harsh, but that phone game that they were proposing, just nobody asked for it, and it looked like complete crap. Like it was some kind of turn-based thing? Yeah, apparently it was. You never hear about it before. I think it did get canceled. I mean, I was gonna try it just so I could dunk on it. But I think they did actually cancel it because they realized everyone is hating this. It's a shame, though. I mean, if there was enough of a demand for platforming games, they can make their own equivalent of Super Mario Odyssey with Commander Keen. I mean, maybe not, but I could dream, can't I? Wouldn't that be cool? If they gave a genuine effort to a Commander Keen game? Well, maybe not full-on Odyssey, but at the very least they can make a 2.5D game or something. You know, with 3D models. I think people would eat that up. Especially fans of Commander Keen. Even if it's a budget title. Like, even if it had GameCube-esque graphics, I think people would still go for that. Especially if you're a fan of Commander Keen. There's still potential there. But they just, like... Yeah, that's a good point, Vegsy. We probably will never get beyond Good and Evil 2. But at least there's one thing we probably will get soon. Hollow Knight's Silksong. That's probably the one game I'm looking forward to the most. Like, there's some other games that I want to play at some point, like Hogwarts Legacy. I am going to be playing that soon, by the way. I don't know when, but I'm hoping sometime before April, because on April I'm basically just doing all Harry Potter games. But one game that I'm definitely getting as soon as physically possible is Hollow Knight Silksong. Just because I love the original Hollow Knight. Elden Ring is another one of those maybe eventuallys. You know, it's just not a super high priority. Maybe if it went cheap or something. I'm not against playing, you know, it's just one of those, you know, not a high priority monetization-wise. Yeah, Diablo. The funny thing is, there were other games on phones already that are basically Diablo clones. So they didn't really provide anything new now that you think, when you really think about it. The only thing that separates Diablo on phone from all the Diablo clones on phone really is just the IP name. Well, and the fact that their microtransaction system is so goddamn egregious that you could easily spend thousands of dollars on the game. That's something that no other phone clone does. So congratulations! Congratulations, Blizzard. No one scams people for money like you can. Was that harsh? Seriously. When you could spend thousands of dollars on a game, and it doesn't just have a shit ton of content in it, it's just the way the loot box or whatever system they've got works. It's just shitty. Come on. They're taking advantage of people who are susceptible to that kind of thing. And I'm not really susceptible to that kind of thing. I don't really play phone games much anymore, but even when I was playing phone games, I was almost deliberately not spending anything on them. Like I would play Plants vs. Zombies 2, that's a pretty good one. I mean, some people don't like Plants vs. Zombies 2 because it's more monetized, but I still think it's a pretty good game on its own merits. If you resist the urge to get any of the premium plants, it's still pretty good on its own merits. Not to mention the event. Some of the event plants that you get for free anyway are super overpowered. Especially the Gatlin Pea. That thing is crazy. You don't need premium plants. You just need to get the Gatlin Pea and you're set. Especially if you got the Torchwood. I'm going on a tangent, aren't I? But yeah. That's what I heard. Diablo Immortal is super crazy when it comes to its monetization. And I was saying that to prove a point. Yeah, that's true. It wasn't always free, but it became free. Resurrect one dead person for whatever reason, what would that be? That's actually a good question. You asked me some really good questions that I really have to stop and think about. Because I'm not really sure who I would resurrect. I mean, you gotta keep in mind that whoever you do resurrect, you're basically pulling out of the afterlife, so you gotta take that into account. Like, if you say a biblical figure like Moses or King David, you're basically pulling them out of heaven and into the real world with all its crap. So, I'm not entirely sure, actually. Maybe Stan Lee? I mean, Marvel definitely got a lot worse after he was gone. He was probably one of the great innovators in entertainment, especially in the comic book industry, which became the superhero movies of today. If he was back and in the right frame of mind, things would probably get a lot better in that regard, at least. So, maybe Stan Lee? Although, that's probably a stupid answer, isn't it? There are probably people who are far more influential than Stan Lee who could make a big difference in the world. But I'm mostly doing video games and other forms of entertainment on this channel, so I'm not really thinking in a political mindset like of a world leader or something like that. Sorry. That's who comes to mind first, Stan Lee. Even if he wasn't really a political figure with a lot of world influence, he was one of the greats. To be fair, at the time it probably seemed like a good deal. You know, you sell yourself to a company and then it completely radically changes its management style over time that you couldn't have possibly predicted. I guess the best thing you can do is be like J.K. Rowling. And no, not the things that people are complaining about. This isn't me trying to stir the shit. This isn't me trying to stir up controversy. What I mean by that is, J.K. Rowling actually got a super big deal. She has guaranteed rights. You notice, nobody can cancel her because she basically owns Harry Potter. She didn't give away any rights to it. Even if they do something without her being involved, like Hogwarts Legacy, she wasn't really involved in that, she still gets paid for it. Because she got a good deal on it. She's not getting screwed over. A lot of content creators nowadays, because, you know, no company's ever going to give them a good deal like J.K. Rowling ever again. Unless they were backed into a corner, unless they were about to go bankrupt otherwise. Which that might happen, but until then, J.K. Rowling got a once-in-a-lifetime offer. He actually got to retain the full rights and everything. He basically just gives them permission. They don't own it. They have to ask her for permission instead of the other way around. It's a shame more people don't do that. Like, I guess you can say in that sense, it's a shame that Marvel didn't say that to Disney. We'll let you use our stuff. We'll let you help us out, but you don't own it. We have to retain ownership over it. That would probably make things a lot better off. I think more creators, if they want to make a deal with a bigger company, they should say, hey, okay, but I retain the rights. If we have a fallout, I don't want you to own it. You're not going to use my shit at all unless you respect that I'm the owner. You know what I mean? Although I guess if you were desperate enough, you'd probably go for it and give them the rights. But other than that, if you want it to be an actual partnership, if it's something that's still big, if it's big enough to catch their attention, then it's probably big enough anyway, but if it's something that has a lot of influence, I would say to whatever company wants to buy it off of you, look, I'll give you the rights to use it, but it's still mine, you know? Anytime I want to, I can cut you off. I think that's the way it should be done. But sadly, far too many people get screwed over. They sign away the rights completely and then they have no ownership to it. That company can basically just cut them out of their own creation anytime they want. So unless you plan to make something else, and you're just selling it off to make a quick buck, maybe don't give them full rights to it, you know? Just give them the rights to use it. Don't give them ownership. That's the way I think it should be done. Good, anyway. So yeah. If this game is gonna crash, it would have to crash at basically the tail end of this live stream, so I'd say very successful. As if it wasn't already obvious, I probably sound like a broken record by saying this. But it looks like I can play through all of Metroid Prime. Luckily, Metroid Prime isn't that long of a game. And since it also seems to be running a lot more smoothly, that means I can finish it a lot faster too. I'll be back to the Hulk before you know it. Talking about companies selling themselves to Disney, same goes with LucasArts. You know what'd be funny though? If Disney screwed over the Star Wars and the Indiana Jones brands so badly that they ended up selling it back to George Lucas at a fraction of the price. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? Like, he sells it to them, they basically destroy its value, and then they have to meekly sell it back to him at a fraction of the cost. That would be playing the big game. That would be playing the long game right there. Like, if you know they're just gonna screw it up. Whenever aliens, they bring their mothership dangerously close, that mothership always has an easily exploitable weak spot. You know the funny thing? The Simpsons game actually makes fun of that. Did you know that, Vegsy? The Simpsons game made by EA, it actually makes fun of that. Because in one of the cutscenes, every 3 times the mothership fires a laser, it opens up. And then Bart's like, hey, every 3 laser bursts, it opens up its weak point. That's how we'll do it. He's right. Why do we open our weak spot every 3 laser bursts? Why do we even expose our weak point at all? Thanks for the heads up, Earth dumbass. That was hilarious. And that's when Bart learned a valuable lesson. Never say things like that out loud because they might be listening. And they might use it to their advantage. But anyway. Time to move on. Go away. I don't want to deal with you, baby freaks. That look like Pinkies from Doom 3. Seriously. Scarlet, are you familiar with Doom 3? Because these things look more than a little similar to those from Doom 3, and that was in the original too. And the funny thing is, it came out at around 2 years earlier than Doom 3, so maybe Doom 3 was inspired a little bit by them. I can't confirm anything, but it would make sense. Although, maybe that might be contradicted by E3 demos or something that might have shown the design. They were probably just inspired by the same thing. More often than not, when something looks similar, it means they were inspired by the same thing, because the games are in development for a long time, and just assuming that one copied the other isn't really fair. And I certainly wouldn't say that to bash on id Software. Even if they were inspired, so what? It's not a big deal. It's just one of those things you notice. More like I'm just making an observation. I'm not really complaining about it. Oh, great, it's one of those again. Jeez, it's a big mama again. I mean, she looks impressive. Look at that. Uh-oh. That's what happens when you sit there and gawk at an ice monster. You get ice blast thrown at you. Go figure. Uh-oh. Oops. There we go. What am I doing? Ah, that's good. Did I mention I'm using a mouse hook program right now? As you can see, it's not really the smoothest, but it does work surprisingly well, considering what you can use it with. In fact, I actually plan to go on to 007 Nightfire eventually, and let's just say the PC version is kinda garbage. At least with this, I would be able to play it much more effectively on the GameCube. Now you can tell there's a little bit of choppiness, but all things considered, it's still pretty accurate. I wouldn't go that far. I think Samus herself was also heavily inspired by Alien. As were a lot of things, actually. In fact, if you notice, in Metroid 2, Samus being in her underwear is also sort of a reference to Ripley. Yeah, go figure. They didn't just have her in her underwear for fan service. That was actually a reference to Alien. If you notice, there's some things in the level designs that also look like they were heavily inspired by Alien. Like those organic parts in the NES Metroid that carried over to Zero Mission. Metroid and Doom are definitely the big ones that were inspired by Alien. I would definitely say Ellen Ripley was one of the big ones that started, especially female action heroines. And especially for sci-fi. If you have a female action girl in a sci-fi property, they probably owe their existence in some part to Ellen Ripley. Because even if they were inspired by Metroid, Metroid was itself inspired by Alien, so it would be at least partially because of it. If that makes any sense. Ah, I see, I gotta go back through there again. Ugh. Gotta go back through the darkness again. Well, I guess we better just jump in there. This ought to be fun. Hey, Vegsy? Given this area is where I had all those problems before. Well, hopefully this will be proof that I don't have those problems anymore. I was saying in the video game universe. That's fair. Maybe for female action heroes to some extent, even if Alien still inspired it. Well, even within just the video game space, I don't think it would be fair to give it the credit if it itself is an inspiration. Although, Doom was like the father of first-person shooters, and it was also inspired by Alien, so you could say the same for Metroid. If nothing else, Metroid helped inspire a game genre, Metroidvania. If I'm not mistaken, Super Metroid and Symphony of the Night were the two big ones that inspired Metroidvania. And Super Metroid came first. Especially Metroid itself came first. So you can definitely say it inspired a genre. Without Metroid, Hollow Knight probably wouldn't exist. And Hollow Knight's become one of my favorites. Have you ever played Hollow Knight? That's definitely a really good game that owes its existence partially to Metroid. In the video game space, even. Bye-bye. I see it's mostly shadow pirates, too. Probably because they could actually see better in the dark. They probably have thermal vision or something similar. Like this. Oh, this is delightful. Only a shame I have to be in this mode just to see. I mean, this is cool and all, but you can't really appreciate the graphics when it's like this, can you? Uh-oh. Where are they? There they are. There we go. Ah, that's more like it. Oh, geez, they did a number on me, didn't they? Huh. Cool. I never heard about that, but that makes sense. I know Castlevania is also inspired heavily on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. If you notice, it even has little nods to it, like the stone mask. I mean, just the main concept of a big burly dude taking on a vampire was taken straight out of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Even Dracula being extremely hammy in Symphony of the Night can be said to be inspired by Dio. You thought your opponent would be Dio, but it was I, Dracula! That'd be hilarious if he said that at one point. Well, maybe not Dio, but if he said something kind of like that. You were expecting Belmont, but it was I, Dracula! Kono Dioda. In fact, in one of the Castlevania games, I think the remake of one of the Castlevania games in the PSP, I don't remember what it was called, but in one of them, Dracula is actually voiced by Patrick Seitz, who actually voices Dio in the English dub of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So in some kind of twisted way, you can connect them. Even if it's only in one of the Castlevania games, it's a remake of something else, and even then, that's only in the English dub. But nothing wrong with that. I'm sure as you recall, Vegsy, this area game gave me the most issues. It's when we had the circus effect. I guess we'll see what happens this time. Sorry to say you might be a little disappointed, though. I may have to extend the live stream a bit also, because there's not going to be a save room right nearby. Oh, that's cool, Charlotte. I know Transylvania was also... right. Well, you're on the same thing. For some reason, I thought Transylvania was in the US, though. Maybe I was off. My bad. Oh boy. Damn security system. It is sort of a nice touch that these security drones, like the machinery, it's always much more accurate than the space pirates are. You notice that? Like the space pirates, they try to hit you, but they don't always hit the mark. But these machine-type enemies seem to always hit their mark. Which makes sense if you think about it. They have better detection. Organic creatures are more prone to failure. Especially ones with sentience. Uh-oh. Metroids. Uh-oh. Need to get the hell out of here. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Need to quickly change to the ice beam, but what button it was? There it is. Oh, this is getting scary. In my defense, Metroids are kind of tense. Ah, okay. You mistaken Pennsylvania with Transylvania. Yeah, that makes sense. That's probably what I was mistaking it for. Ooh, listen to that. I love this music right here. Small energy. Okay. I never scanned that before, I guess. I love this music right here. It has a charm to it that I can't quite explain. It has some of the Pandrana Drift's softer melody, but it also has that almost gelling music to it. I guess you can say it's got a nice jam to it. Ow. Jerk. Take this. You fool. Ah, there we go. Now I need... Oh, look at that. I need a grapple beam to do anything with that. Bro, try to scan that big thing right there. Glider. Docile airborne creatures with unusual magnetic properties. Indeed. This, on the other hand... Oh, it's a Hunter Metroid. Yeah. On Talon 4, because of the phazon introduced, these Metroids have unique evolutions. Hunter Metroid, Adolescent Metroid, Energy Siphon Tentacles increases threat level. Ooh, nice. Half the scans. Maybe this'll... Nope. I was... Oh, crap. Okay, there we go. Man, I'm all over the place. I'm forgetting my buttons. That was my bad. Once I get to a save room, then that'll be it. But until then, I need to keep going. I just need to find a save room. I think there's one nearby, but I don't remember where. Might be right there, actually. I guess we'll find out, won't we? Live stream, but once I reach a save room, the video ends. Yeah. I don't want to go that far yet. Come on. A save room somewhere right in this damn place. There's only one other door. I guess I have no other choice. Nice pipe, though. That's nice. Oh, joy. Oh boy. I'm not sure. I can't imagine it, but I'm sure it would be theoretically possible. Maybe. Although, do you mean where the environments are 3D and we're flat sprites, or do you mean 3D models but stuck on a 2D plane? So now that I'm giving more thought to it, they sound like they would be silly concepts. I could imagine it, but... Oh, wait. What are you saying yes to? Ah, shit. Same thing. Okay. Gotta go down. Both? Because I'm not sure. Theoretically, it would be possible to imagine it, but... As for how it would actually work, I don't know. Like you would just be stuck on a side-scroller? Maybe there's some kind of invisible force that compels you? But we would always know what we're lacking. Oh boy. I think it's pulling me into it. That's why I kept falling. It tries to pull me in so it can hurt me with its energy. Come on, you bastard. Full 3D, but with a 2D perspective, yeah. Yeah, that would be weird to imagine. Like there's just an invisible wall all around you. Even more complicated is some 2.5D side-scrollers will actually rotate. Like Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. And Spider-Man 2 for the DS, actually. It's a 2.5D side-scroller, but it will rotate when you get around corners. Interestingly enough. All of our photos have loading screens? Wow. I would hate to imagine a video over then. Uh-oh. I've fallen and I can't get up. Quite painful. Uh-oh. Come on, you bastard. Open up. The FBI, you gotta open up. There we go, you just gotta charge it up. Charge up a shot, then you're good. Yeah, I don't know how long the stream is gonna last because I need a save room. Unfortunately, this isn't one of those you can quit and come back to it anytime you want kind of games. I'm pretty sure even under normal circumstances, the most you could do is put your Switch into sleep mode, and that probably wouldn't be very good for the game. Maybe that's it. Neat. Ooh, oh boy, oh boy, ah, fuck. I knew I was gonna make that jump, so I tried to go back. I was too deep in. Okay. Right, okay. I gotta go this way. And shoot it from here. Wait a minute. Oh, this is where I came in from. Cool. At least now I'm back here. Awesome. Bingo. It stuttered for just a moment, but we're fine. Nicely done. You know, they're actually... Oh, yeah, I'm aware of Manhattan Project. There's a cheat code where you could be an FPS. That would probably be weird. I imagine you'd still have the side-scrolling perspective. Well, the being forced to do a side-scroller. Kind of funny how Metroid Other M is sort of like a 3D side-scroller, but you can also turn the Wiimote to go into first person. Which just makes me wish you could move around like that. But then it would just be Metroid Prime. I actually played Manhattan Project, but I can never get past the helicopter for some reason. I saw someone throw pipe bombs at the Gatling guns, but for some reason I always died. I never could figure out how to beat it. Also, this is where I get the gravity suit. That ought to be fun. If I can make it past these creatures. Gotta make it past the creatures first. Open up. Damn it. Okay. Freaking tentacles. They're the worst, I tells you. They're the absolute worst, I tells you. I gotta figure out how to get to the gravity suit. The gravity suit is around here somewhere, I know that. Smell it. Huh, that works to some extent. Kinda? There you go. Ooh, there it is. I found it. Okay. Are you ready for a suit upgrade? Behold. This ought to make things go a little smoother. The gravity suit allows you to go underwater much faster. Now I won't be slowed down anymore. Gravity suit acquired. Exactly, Neo, and purple is a royal color, which means Samus just got royal. I'm about to get royally boned, but that's still royal. Movement in liquid environments is no longer hindered. Additional data downloaded inventory screen. New extras unlocked in the main menu. Cool. You notice a side effect is that you can also see much more clearly through the water. I'm sure you could justify that as the gravity suit somehow has a better visor that can allow her to penetrate through the water's fogginess, but that's still a nice touch, isn't it? It makes the underwater environments look a lot less threatening to you. Now that you're moving around freely and it doesn't look like your movement is hindered to like 2 feet in front of you. It makes a difference. That's the most satisfying part about getting new upgrades in a Metroidvania. When something that was extremely threatening to you before suddenly becomes not a big deal. That's especially something I've noticed in the Metroid games, specifically. It's just so liberating. There are a lot of upgrades in Metroid games, like the screw attack or the space jump, where you go to areas that previously gave you shit, and then you go back and then you just blow them away effortlessly. Great. Well, I'm not inhibited by water anymore. Oh wait, I think it was the phazon mines. Not pirates or chozos. It was the phazon mines, obviously, because the space pirates were mining for phazon. I completely forgot about that. That's where I'm going next, I think. So I'll soon have the grapple beam, too. Although, is there a save room nearby? Really wish there was a save room nearby, because I need to wrap this up already, and I can't find shit. I think there might be one at the top of that over there, which I probably could have gone to earlier and prevented myself from having to go overtime, but hey, what's wrong with a little overtime? This live stream wasn't even supposed to happen in the first place. It was mostly meant to just test out Metroid Prime Remastered. But as you can see, the test is successful, which means I will be playing more Metroid Prime Remastered Thursday. This Thursday, 4:30 p.m. And of course, I'll do Elder Scrolls Morrowind Monday at 4:30 p.m. Does she still need her spaceship? Well, I mean, she still needs to get around. She's not going to be exactly able to travel through space like this. Oh boy. Damn pirates. Like this. Oh boy, I'm going to run out of health. I need to get to that save room, or a save room, wherever the hell a save room even is. Yeah. Well, Samus doesn't really have the resources on her own, not to mention she doesn't really have powerful thrusters for space travel. Even if she could, it would probably be very impractical for her. I mean, she's got a spaceship that has very powerful thrusters that could get her through space far faster than she ever could on her own. Why not use it? I think... I mean, she walks in the pirate frigate, and that's out in outer space, but there are barriers preventing you from going very far. So it's not like you can float out in outer space. What the? Okay. I just wasn't jumping properly, my bad. Please let there be a save room up here. Come on. Okay, then. There's probably just going to be an upgrade in here. What the? Huh. What's this? This doesn't look familiar to me. I see. I'll go there later. I just need to get to a save room. But like I said, I'm going to do more Metroid Prime Remastered Thursday. This was just a test. I didn't want to devote an entire stream if it was going to have crashing problems like it did last time. The dealer responded, car no go space, car only go land. Okay then. Funny. You're funny, man. But anyway. Let's just go over here. Because I know where there is a save room up ahead. But yeah. I'm also going to be doing more Elder Scrolls Morrowind Monday at 4:30 p.m. I also made a new weapon out of Almalexia's soul. It's going to be fun to watch. I'm going to have fun showing off that. So if you want to see Almalexia's whooping stick that I made by taking the soul of Almalexia, be sure to join me on Monday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as I do Elder Scrolls Morrowind. And of course, I Let's Play every single day at high noon. And I've been doing ranking videos for Duke 3D. That's going to go to Plutonia Experiment for Final Doom really soon in March. Okay, thank God I made it. Okay, you can always subscribe and powerbomb that bell icon if you don't want to worry about keeping track of time zones. A like and a comment are always appreciated, but I just hope you genuinely enjoyed yourself. And that is it for now. Thank you so much for tuning in with me. Spread this video around like a test. Well done. And I will see you next time. Now go out there and capitalize on life. Peace out, have a good one, and have a nice and pleasant day. Bye-bye now.